Welcome back to Christian Minute, everyone. If you're just joining us, I'm Simon Forrester, and my guest today is the Reverend Sandy Phelps.
Reverend Sahib Sandy Phelps.
Oh, Sahib. But the last time you were here, Sandy, you were just the Reverend Phelps, so why don't you tell us how you came to have this fancy new title, and what does it mean?
Well, the last time I was here, Simon, I was, as you remember, preaching hate. But over the last 5 years, I've undergone an amazing spiritual transformation. After abandoning Christians with a mission, I spent a few years in seclusion in Maui. And the Lord gave me, in fact, dictated to me, word for word, the Mor'aan, which aims to unify the Mormon and Islamic religions, which God told me are just different views of the same truth.
So what does your new title, Sahib, mean?
I actually don't know. I have no idea.
But we do have to back up a bit because some of our viewers out there might not remember the last time you were here when you were running Christians with a Mission. So let's take a quick look at a clip of that show.
I really don't think that's necessary, Simon, because I think it's counterproductive to what I'm trying.
Anyway, Marla writes, "Dear Christians with a Mission, you promote hate. Haven't you learned that hate can't solve anything? Hating someone is like drinking poison and hoping the other guy dies. You disgust me." Wow, I don't think you have to be a woman to understand that she's upset.
Exactly. I think it's obvious that this woman is probably a communist, feminist, and very likely probably maybe even a vegan, who clearly despises the whole world. With this attitude, we don't get anywhere. I would suggest that Marla gets an attitude change or quits talking altogether. I'm flummoxed that people like this still exist.
And I had forgotten how angry you were then.
Well, here's what happened with Christians with a Mission. Basically, we ran out of money, and on my last dime, I flew to Maui and spent 40 days and 40 nights in a jungle near Maui, eating whatever I could find, even drinking my own waste, which, by the way, when you're really exhausted and thirsty, doesn't taste that bad.
I wish I could say I can only imagine.
Right, so after 40 days and 40 nights, the most amazing thing happened, Simon. First, I thought I was becoming delusional, but when I realized what was happening, it was that God was talking directly to me.
40 days and 40 nights in a jungle, of all places. That had to be amazing. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do if you just let me finish.
Interesting.
So I thought I was becoming delusional, but when I realized that God was basically telling me to unify Mormonism and Islam because those two ideas, he said, are closest to the true way laid out in the inspired book, the Mor'aan.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, Moron.
A Mor'aan.
Moron.
Well, there's an apostrophe, so there's a pause. It's more pause on.
More on.
That's right, but with a shorter pause. Mor'aan.
That's fascinating. But what is this? Is this some kind of new religion, or?
Well, I don't like labels, but we have close to 500 followers now in Hawaii, mostly. Even some of the former Christians with mission, with the Christians with a Mission, have accepted the Mor'aan. But our long-term goal is to reach out to Mormons and Muslims all across the world and unify them in love for the true way laid out in the Mor'aan.
So it's a religion then?
Well, again, I don't like labels, but yeah, it's a religion. And thanks to the donations that we've been receiving lately, I've been able to go on national tour to reach young people on college campuses all over the country and promote our ideas, including fertility, pelvic floor health, and disdain for homosexuality and the rebirth cycle, the reincarnation.
Well, if it's disdain, to use your words, isn't that preaching hate? Aren't you still preaching hate, Sandy?
It's not hate against Muslims, it's hate against Hindus.
And homosexuals.
Of course. It goes without saying.
Is there anyone else or any other group you hate?
No, not really. We're indifferent, for instance, towards Christians. We basically think Christians are just confused Mormons, and that's it.
So, getting back to your main goal. You're out there now. Your goal is to reach out to Mormons and Muslims and maybe confused Christians?
Sure.
So you're spreading the word. Reaching out, you're on a whirlwind tour of college campuses right now. And I think we have a clip of one of your recent lectures at the University of Iowa about the Mor'aan.
Mor'aan.
About the more on.
and it's teaching about fertility. So let's go to that now. Bill, do we have that? Do we have that clip?
Yeah, I've got that, Simon. It's all ready to go.
Fantastic.